Thought I'd do a video really quick what I take on my day hikes here in Texas. That's been an adjustment for me because my day hikes previously were in New York and the packing list for a day hike there is completely different from what it is here. Apologize for the air conditioning in the background. Currently live in an RV. Long story. Actually really enjoy it. So just give you a quick rundown of what I took today on my hike out at Government Canyon. I did 10.4 miles, went out to dinosaur tracks and did a couple loops. But here's what I took with me. So my setup is super simple. So I take this pack here. It's an Arc'teryx Aeros 15. I really like it a lot. I do have an Osprey that sometimes I'll switch out depending on what I'm doing. I have a P-Rag on here. It's not a Cooler cloth, but it's similar, same idea. And then I have a couple things on here, zip ties and whatnot. That's for my New York hikes when I got to put micro spikes on the back of my pack. So ignore that. That's not for Texas. I just left it on there. I have a bandana just to wipe my nose if it starts to run, sweat, you know, whatever, multi-purpose. And then I have my Garmin InReach. I usually don't have it on. I don't actually use it when I'm doing these short day hikes, but I do carry it with me anyways, just in case. I know my phone has an SOS button, but this is a little bit of redundancy. And I have discovered that by having this, it is actually, at least in New York, deterred some of the crazy people from, you know, getting a little too friendly. So something about knowing that I have a way to call for help has been helpful in a couple instances, unfortunately. Inside here I have a 2.5 liters, so I will always fill this up. As you can see, I didn't drink that much water today. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. And then I will usually add a 1 liter smart water bottle in here and add some electrolytes so that I didn't do that today. I'm not sure why, just didn't feel like the electrolytes, didn't want it, so didn't take it. Hiking in Texas, I have, you know, 2.5 liters is the minimum I'll carry because there's no way to fill up if I run out. So I do take a small first aid kit. It's just mostly band-aids and bandages because that's the biggest risk on the hikes out here, is just falling and scraping up knee, arm, whatever. I take a bathroom kit because you never know. There's trowel and some hand sanitizer and some wipes in there. And then in this little pocket, I have my buff. I didn't actually use it today, which was kind of weird. And then some snacks. You can see I didn't eat all my snacks. I ate a few of them. But I'll just throw a bunch of bars in here. Stuff I can eat really quickly on the go. And then I have a Gerber knife. You know, multi-purpose, functional, kind of a safety thing, I guess. And in case I need it, because I've had to cut open food stuff and whatnot. So that's all I take in my pack. It's really super simple. What's not in there, I sometimes take sun gloves to put on my hands if I'm going to be in the sun. And I'll take some sunscreen. I did not take that today because I was mostly in the shade. I probably should have, but I didn't. And sometimes I'll put bug spray in there. Didn't bother with that today either. What I end up wearing, so I have my Ultras and my Injinji liner socks. I don't put my other hiking socks over that in this climate because it's too much. My feet will get sweaty and I'll get blisters. So I just go with the liner socks. I have my REI hiking shorts. And then for my top, this is not what I wore. I have a tank top underneath here. I put a t-shirt on top because I stopped at Walmart on the way home and I didn't want to look too much like hiker trash. So I put a clean shirt on top. The only thing I did not bring today that I was kicking myself the whole way because they were sitting here in my RV are my gaiters. So especially here in Texas where everything's sandy and rocky and gravelly, it keeps that crud out of your shoes and keeps it from causing friction with your feet. And I totally forgot to grab them. Wasn't a big deal, but I do have a lot of crud in my shoes. So thankfully I didn't get any blisters from it. But yeah, that's everything that I take. Simple day hike in Texas. I don't feel like I need the 10 essentials out there because even if I got stranded somehow, like there's tons of people around. Even if there are not people around, I'm not going to freeze to death. Yeah, at least not this time of year. And there's not going to be, I mean, the biggest issue would be water, but if I take 2.5 liters out there, I should be able to manage until I can get help for whatever situation I'm in. And then if it's really bad, you know, I got my InReach and I got my phone. So didn't need a whole lot of extra. You don't need hat, gloves, mittens, all the things, jacket, things like that. At least not, like I said, not right now. So hopefully that's helpful. At some point I'll do one on my hikes in New York, which that packing list is completely different. And that pack is usually very full on those hikes because there's a lot more stuff I need just in case. So that's all I got.